Okay, it's live. We're live.
Hello, welcome back to Sembang Carlist episode 6. If you're watching it for the first time, do follow us in Carlist Facebook and watch all our Sembang Carlist in the page. As usual, we will be giving out these lovely prizes in our show today to three lucky winners. So, how do we win this? Stay through our show tonight because I will be asking three questions from time to time through the show, and the best answer will walk away these prizes. All right, let's start right away. We have Arwin and Jim. Say hello.
Hi guys.
Hello.
They're joining us tonight again to give us their opinion for tonight's topic is the pickup truck your one car solution. All right. So let's start off with Jim. Is the pickup truck our one car solution? What do you think?
I mean, like, obviously it is because if you think about it, like pickup trucks back then were so utilitarian, very comfortable. But these days, everyone uses them for everything, even like a family car. You could just do it because it's comfortable. It's got fuel economy because it's diesel. And over the generations, it's become there's more equipment being specced into these pickup trucks. Again, more comfort, just better materials inside, and you get the utility of the pickup truck. You have that big bed at the back. You can put whatever you want. People will call you up randomly to move things for them. Yeah, it could be everyone's car.
Okay.
So
So I
almost
remember,
style to these days. Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
Arwin, you're saying?
No, they're a lot more stylish these days as well, all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they know that, right? I mean, last time it used to be so much like a workhorse car, but now they know that people buy
Yeah.
it because they want to buy a pickup truck. They see the benefit, so they style it to become more desirable.
Yeah, because I remember
Correct.
like several episodes ago we talked about family car, and just now you mentioned that pickup truck could actually be a family car as well, and then with the utility and it's more stylish right now. This is literally something new for me. Like I would never imagine a pickup truck could actually be a family car as well. But I guess it's because you could actually carry a lot more stuff, especially like traveling around with a large group and all that, right? So what
Yeah.
about maintenance though? It's like I have this thinking that the bigger the car is, the more expensive that you're gonna maintain them.
The more
Like,
maintenance. Yeah.
yeah, the more
Probably
maintenance, the
misconception.
running costs. I think that's
Yeah.
always cost
Right.
and
Right.
it's always the concern. So what do you think, Arvin?
Um. Well. Okay. I think to answer that properly, you gotta like sort of break it up into two portions of the. I mean, two different answers. Now we can go overall like overall cost of ownership, right? So if you look at most of the trucks on sale today, they normally range between about 100 to 130, 135,000 ringgit. Now, let's assuming you were not buying a truck, but you were looking for an SUV. So that will leave you with maybe options like the Honda HR-V or maybe a Proton X70. Uh, so
Yeah.
yeah, I think maybe the Nissan X-Trail is about there as well. So now, if we consider, I mean, because of slightly different taxation for trucks, they're actually a lot of car for not as much money. You know, you think about the, I mean, the relative size of a Honda HR-V versus let's say a truck, right? Like a Hilux or
Okay.
something. It's way bigger, right? So one, for the money, you're getting a lot of car. It's big. It's like what Jim said. It carries a lot of barang. You can put five people inside. It doubles up as a family vehicle and something that you can enjoy yourself with. Now,
And you can go off road.
how say again?
And you can actually go off road from it.
Yeah. So and it's properly it's equipped to go where most other cars can't go. Other SUVs included, you know. So okay, so that's one part. Is like for less than 130 or thereabouts. There are ones that are but like 100, 105, 110,000 also. So you're getting a lot of car for the money you
Okay.
pay. Right. Okay. Then the other thing is maybe the cost of maintenance, right? So how let's say you keep this car for, let's say we're gonna run it for 10 years, let's say, you know. So one thing is I mean, most of the, I mean, if not all of them are diesel vehicles, turbocharged, turbo diesel. So one, you get very, very good mileage. So these all kind of work towards you because it's savings down the line. Now, if we look at the mechanicals of trucks, right? So they're built to be, for really hard conditions. So the engines, the transmissions, the drivetrain, the brakes, the suspension, everything is built to withstand a lot of abuse. So now, if you use, so I mean, assuming you buy a truck and you're not going to take it off road, or you're just going to use it in the city, these components they're not even going to be tested. So you have a case where they are going to last for a very, very, very long time. So in terms of that, you're not going to have a lot of wear and tear items as you would maybe an SUV or a car, or an MPV or something like that. And also, if you're talking about just your routine maintenance, your oil, your brake pads, your things like that, it's probably comparable to maybe an SUV or like comparative price SUV. So yeah, it's not very different. One aspect of where it could be a bit more expensive, I feel, is tires. So they use way larger tires than SUVs and the like. So they are a bit pricey. I mean, just for comparison, like the tire on a Honda HRV maybe will be about 300 ringgit to maybe about 500 ringgit, but for a truck, it might start at 400 and then go all the way up to 700 depending on brand and whatnot. So that's somewhere you might be paying a little bit more. But with that said, once you change the tire, it's going to last damn long. It'll probably last another 5 years. So
Yeah.
it's a give and take, but they are comparable. They definitely are comparable. And coming back to savings, if your trips are like long distance or you travel a lot, you have to go outstation a lot. Having the diesel power plant means you're going to save quite a lot of money on fuel versus using a petrol car. So there is a give and take, but yeah, they are comparable. They're not going to break your bank or anything.
Yeah, diesel is actually
Say again.
cheaper.
Yeah, diesel is slightly cheaper than petrol as such, and
Right.
these things can really go very far. Like I mean, on a full tank on most trucks, I think will easily dispatch 1,000 km of highway driving, without even winking an eye. It's really not even trying. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, I understand what Jim said that it could be your daily drive because of the utility and all that. And then I was actually thinking about the maintenance costs. And you mentioned, like, they are actually, you can get something in the range of like 100 to 120,000 for the ownership part. And then, like, they have longer lifespan and all that. Now, I would like to open to our audience for our first question tonight. Like, you actually buy a pickup truck and tell us why. Right? Because it's all good so far, but I just want to know, like, what would our audience actually think about it?
Yeah.
So I repeat the question.
Don't tell us why.
Yeah, you got to tell us why. Would you buy a pickup truck and why? Yeah, and then you also actually compare a little bit to SUV in the sense that they're pretty much similar, and it's just that in terms of the lifespan is a bit longer. What color would Crystal? We're already jumping to a pickup truck color again. Well,
I think some models are offered in red.
have red. Yeah, do we have red pickup truck out there?
Yeah, I believe it's offered in quite a few
Without
models.
a doubt, no second thought, red pickup truck. There you go, John Adams. You have my. Now things are getting more interesting right now about pickup trucks because for me, I've seen them on the road, but that's just so much that I know. But right now, what Arvin has shared is that apart from the tire, but everything else is pretty much similar to the next SUV.
Comparable, yeah, it's comparable
in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then now I would actually want to ask Jim, what are the options that are available in the market out there?
What trucks are available in the market?
Yeah, pickup trucks options.
All right, so do you want to know what the red ones are? Okay, so we have a helpful little picture over here.
It's all white right now.
Check and cheat. And do you know any of these over here? I mean, don't look at the names, but look at them. I'll just take the names. So over here we have the Navara clockwise lah. with the Navara, there's the Triton, there's the Ranger, there's the Mazda BT50, there's the Isuzu D-Max, there's the Hilux, of course, everyone knows that. And all of them offer a lot of the same plus points, but everything has their own little nuances. So the Ranger maybe, the Ranger has its own plus points, the Triton has its own plus points. Obviously, these days, when it comes to utility, all these trucks can haul a lot of cargo, is fairly comfortable, is very good on the road as well. But it comes down to, well, first impressions too. Like, which one is the most stylish? Which one do you think fits your personality?
Well, if I actually look at it at a glance from the front view, Triton actually is quite attractive though. It's like because the rest,
yeah, you know what?
pretty much similar.
Since a while ago already. Remember last time the Triton used to be very like kind of curvier than usual than for a pickup truck, and then it was known from then to be a more urbanized truck. Like you would actually want to consider it to buy for your own car, and then they refined it.
I think the Ranger and the Hilux, all they had this sort of like a bit more brutish look to it, but the Triton always had a styling effect to it. Like, they want to like smoother curves and things like that. So,
but now it's very Japanese, man. Look at it. It looks like a Gundam.
Yeah.
Gundam.
What's a Gundam? Sorry, what is a Gundam?
Gundam.
Gundam is a robot, like an anime robot. That's got cartoons about. You know those Japanese robots that fight Godzilla, maybe? Yeah.
Now we know
like
who's the otaku.
No.
I think Crystal was thinking Gundam, like Tepung Gundam or something like.
Yes, I was like, Gundam was like you're talking about curviness and the urban style, and then Gundam.
Tepung Gundam
and Gundam.
Well, I recently found out that there were pickup trucks owners who were using their trucks to deliver much needed food, especially during this unprecedented time. I've seen pictures around, like people been sharing when they're doing their CSR, they're doing their like public services and all that, and also like supplies to the rural areas. So it was actually really touching to realize that even like my friend, he is trying to rally some of our close group to do some donations to the hospital. And when we got our items together, we realized that because most of it, I have a hatchback, right? It's just hatchback so far. I don't own a pickup truck right now. So with the amount of items we managed together, the amount of cars that required for us to actually carry those stuff to the hospital. And at that point of time, I was just thinking like, if only one of us have something similar like a pickup truck, it will be easier. We don't need to make like triple rounds just to get things from point A to the hospital, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah. One truck is like maybe 4 cars worth of para.
Cargo capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you need the space. I mean, it's not just about like can you fit stuff in your boot, but you need just the big square to move things that are long, to move things that are tall. And some things you don't want to like scratch your boot, so you want to have like the very durable like truck bed. Just carry things. Like I know when I was moving my house, I was like looking at my address book. Hey, what can I call out of the blue because I need a pickup truck?
Like right now, if we could have had that like a few weeks ago, we don't have to make like few rounds just to deliver stuff to the hospital.
Yeah, and the other thing is, right, you see what these guys are carrying, like rice and flour and supplies like that. They're heavy, those things weigh quite a bit. So there's only so much of. I mean, even though it might fit in a boot, whether it's kind of safe for the car to be carrying such a load is another thing, So these things, I think most trucks today they will swallow a ton worth. I think it's about 1,000 kg worth of cargo. So regardless, anything that you can fit in there, just dump it. It'll take it with ease.
Yeah, I mean MCO means that you go from pickup truck owner to like a lifesaver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, right.
I want to hear from you guys your own experience with a pickup truck. Like I've shared mine. I didn't have like the real experience with a pickup truck, but I wish I had during that moment that we're supposed to deliver our donation to the hospital. Like Arvin, share with us like
Yeah.
your experience with pickup truck.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think I've been fortunate to actually sample a lot of them. I think I've practically driven all the trucks we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's been it's all down to, I mean, depending, like I said, like what Jim was saying, if you're driving it on road, yeah, comfort, power, economy, those things play are really highly priced. But if you're going off road, then it's like a totally separate set of factors that are at play. And of the lot, what you really need is you need a lot of feedback. You need a lot of the truck needs to tell you what's happening underneath the tires. You need a lot of torque. I mean, if you're going to scale a muddy hill or things like that, you need power and you need it when you need it. And the other thing is you need traction, right? So I've been fortunate enough. I've joined four the Borneo Safari expedition, right? So it's actually an international, very well known off-road expedition that happens yearly, um, and I've been fortunate to do it 4 times. But in 2016 was in my opinion, the toughest and most memorable year that I've
Wow,
had in there. Right. So as you can see,
that picture.
and I went along with Mitsubishi in that year. Uh, what had happened was there were a lot of delays because there was a torrential rain as the event started. So I mean, you can read some articles on Carlist for those who are more interested in knowing about it. But so basically, torrential rain had made sure that there were landslides, there were fallen trees, muddy sections and everything. So what had we progress was very slow, and and these are all like old logging roads, or sometimes it's like all this. It's actually a trail. It's not actually designed for the size of something like the truck to go through. So you actually kind of make your own road,
Oh,
and that's where you'll be caught up with situations like this. Now, looking at the incline of that hill, and if you notice just where the tail end of the truck is, that it's not really shown on in the photo, but it's a dip, So what you don't want is the car to go down,
Yeah.
and just when you need it to go up again, you lose power, right? So you need that's what I mean. Like when you need the power, you need it then. If it has a lot of power but it's not accessible, that's useless as well. So with regard to the Triton, and this year they had introduced the 2.4-liter Maybach, which is in the current car. The cars you see are the older ones, but the engine had been placed in the older model beforehand. So it's like punch it, power comes, it's on tap, it goes, and then now that you have the power, you need to be able to put the power down because you've got mud, you've got sand, you've got water, like you can see. So you really need to be able to put that traction down. So what we found is the power was there when we needed it, the traction was there when we needed it, and that gets you over the hill, So
Correct. That makes sense.
yeah, going into this, I have to say I had my doubts whether that's us at the end. We were stuck for 6 days in the jungle, give or take about 6 days in the jungle. This was about 6 o'clock in the evening. We went in, if I'm not mistaken, on Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon. So there about 6 days before we got out. It was a welcome relief, and
well,
yeah, it was the toughest, one of the toughest 6 days of my life. Not having showered for 2-3 days at a time and all that, but it was one hell of a ride, man. We loved it. And just before that, before we took this photo, we had this little dip. We off-roaders call it a V gully. So the car goes in, and then it has to. I mean, this is more of a hill, but the V gully, it's kind of like a bila. So the car goes in, and you before it gets stuck, you need to kind of get the nose of it above, you know. So what had happened? My driver had put the car in an angle and left it there, and I asked him, I was like, "What are you doing? Why are you not getting out?" You know. And he says, "Don't worry, I know I'll make it out." And then I was like, "Wow, that's reassuring. You know, it's good to know." Then I asked him, I was like, "Can you sum up the Triton? And you know, you've been driving it for nearly a week now. What do you think?" And we did it in the jungle. So he said, "Saya minta, dia kasih." You know, so I think that was so powerful. That was so cool. You know, because I was like, there's you know, it's honest, and I actually put it in my article. I was like, there's no truer words were ever said, you know. So yeah, I mean, thanks to this really tough trucks, man. We got out of it, and uh, an extension of that is when you go on road, especially the new one, it's superb. It's so good off road. It just becomes better on road. In
Yeah,
terms of
this
it's
is the thing.
light, it feels quick, it's maneuverable, and like what Jim had said, to echo that, the rear seat comfort is very good in the Titan. So it's one of those things. It's something new in the market, but it's doing extremely well. It's people are responding to the product very well. A lot of that has to do with, you know, they've got a good
Okay.
comprehensive warranty package, and also service centers are very good and all that. So I think the Triton is really an up and coming car, but doing really well.
Well,
I think that's the whole experience over there. I think it really speaks to pickup trucks in general, though. You know, like it's more amazing to me that a car that can do all of that stuff can be engineered to be very well on the road too. I mean, not just the Titan,
Exactly.
but like the Hilux,
Right. So
the D-Max, the everything. It has to
yeah. So
do
you know, the
all
thing
this
is
stuff.
like you have something of something, and then it shouldn't be so good at something else, right?
It doesn't make sense.
And these things actually manage that, you know.
Yeah.
And
okay. I'm gonna. Yep. Sorry, Arvid.
no, I mean, so coming back to what I said earlier, so if you think a truck can do that, you saw those muddy shots and the
Yes.
river and all that. You bawa dekat jalan, no problem lah, nothing. You're not even testing.
Well, for me, if I'm actually gonna get a pickup truck after this, the Borneo
Yeah.
Safari experience that you had, I know it's really great. The picture shows everything.
Yes.
Actually experienced that. I don't think that's like anybody daily experience with a pickup truck, just like Borneo Safari,
Oh,
right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
implore everyone, do it, do it
On
once in your life. It's so amazing.
Yeah, it'll be one of those life-changing things, life-affirming
It
things.
is, and I tell you, Crystal, if you go to Borneo Safari, you will come back right there and buy a truck. It's so
without
cool.
life in the jungle, like without my aircon. But yeah, so this basically makes me want to ask the following question to our audience who are tuning in. Where would you drive if you have a pickup truck right now? Yeah, where would you drive to if you had a pickup truck?
Yeah,
So,
because you can't drive. Go ahead.
sorry,
Go ahead.
and I'm just telling you, like, please share your comment. Go through
Thank you.
Farhan.
Yeah, seriously, it's not going to be a problem for you, man. Like
Yeah,
other car be stranded. Suddenly there's like a rainstorm, flash flood, whatever. You just relax, yeah.
yeah, right. So it looks like they're actually really good off-road, on-road. I want to know next, like, what about their safety features? Is it most comparable? Jim, you want to share? You seem
Okay. So because people were like buying trucks, obviously there was a demand, right? Because people wanted to transition from having their workhorse truck to be adapted to life outside the forest, life outside just as a workhorse. That's why you see all pickup trucks these days. They don't even bother coming as single cab these days. You go to the showroom, boom, double cab. It fits 5, right? So there is a demand for people to use it for multiple things, for family, for work, whatever. And so when it comes to family, everyone suddenly thinks about safety, right? So you can't transition from being a workhorse to an urban vehicle without also coming with safety, thinking about things like fuel economy. So with safety, they've upped the game like massively across the range for with Ford, with Toyota, with Mitsubishi, with Isuzu. A lot of them come with many airbags. I think 7 was the highest one that I saw, the Triton at least. I think they're pretty much on par with in terms of electronic safety and even some active safety stuff. I think you can compare them to D-segment cars, to SUVs even. Things like, I don't know, have you heard of forward collision mitigation and lane change assist?
No, what is that?
Okay, so it's all these things that has acronyms like BLISS and LSS and
FCW,
RTCC and everything, Red Cross Traffic Alert. So there's all these safety things that are built into cars that you would find in the D segments, the Accords, the Passats, and everything, making their way into a car that you would consider, at least like 20 years ago, to be very work oriented. But in this case, pickup trucks are well rounded. Seriously.
So in short, I'll be protected if I actually going to own a pickup truck. The safety,
Yes.
everything.
So the bottom line is that all the safety stuff that you would expect to have is all there in pickup trucks. Don't worry about it. And if you crash, you are in the bigger car, and you can bully people.
Okay, we have an audience actually asked this question by Adam Aubrey. Is it easy to park a pickup truck? Arvind, you have the share with us.
Okay. So doing all that, whatever a truck can do, does unfortunately make it difficult to park some places. So roughly it's about 6 meters long. So there is a a natural downside in terms if you're trying to go to somewhere like Damansara Uptown or Puduraya, I suppose. So it does take some practice, but like I said, most of these new age trucks, they're very maneuverable. So a little bit of practice of maybe a month, even for someone who's a total newbie to a truck, I think within a month you'll be pretty you're pretty much there in terms of knowing where the 4 edges of the car. Another thing that we can talk about is that a lot of the what do you call this, the premium variants of the new range of trucks and all that, like if you take for instance like also the Triton or the Hilux, they have surround view monitors, so much like you say a D segment car. So the moment you put in reverse, you get a 360 view of what's around the whole truck. So it really takes the guesswork out. And that should make things a lot easier for even a novice driver or a first-time driver of a truck. So it is something you need to be mindful of. There are places that it will seem a little too big for, but I think once you get used to it, it's just something that becomes like a nature and all that.
Yeah. So Adam Aubrey, it's like it's not going to be easy, but it's manageable. Practice makes perfect. So yeah, it's manageable in that sense. Well, I'm not done with the whole safety thing because I know like what Jim shared earlier, like the airbags and some of the advanced system it's available in most of the pickup trucks out there. But my safety, it's basically in terms of practicality. So if I have to imagine myself driving a pickup truck today, and out of then I need to actually pick up something like to buy something, and I just park my pickup truck on the roadside. I have stuff at my trunk. Like I can't just actually get out of my car because anybody else could just take the stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, how
Jim, you want to take this?
Yeah, how would you actually manage that? That's my safety.
Okay. So I think they're called tonneau covers. You can get the ones that are retractable. You can get the ones that come up with hydraulics. There's a huge aftermarket for pickup truck accessories. Like if you go across the border, I think one of our commenters just said like, go to Hatia and customize the
go to Thailand
truck. You can do that. There's a huge market for that, and you can get either a cover for the for the bed, which is basically like a boot lid that you open up, and you open the tailgate. You can access it from there. Or some people they turn their they turned their pickups into semi SUVs with I think they call it a camper cab. Oh, sorry, camper shell. You know, so
Right.
they basically
Right.
put
Yeah.
like a shell over the over the bed and make it look like a Ford Everest, like for a Ranger. You know what I mean? They add another roof thing over the
Yeah.
cab.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So you just
It's a
if you
huge,
extend that roof line right to
yeah.
back, it kind
You know
of
what?
becomes an SUV. So
I actually found a cover that you can just buy from Lazada. It's the same thing. It comes in a huge package, one big square with the hydraulics, and you can DIY it if you are handy. It's like screwdrivers and wrenches, whatever. You can just DIY it.
yeah.
Okay.
And another thing to add to that is because the bed is very long, right? So imagine you put your handbag and then you stop at a traffic light and the whole bag flies right to the front of the bed. So these are things that. So there are things that where you can tie in place. So they're like cargo nets lah. They're just nets. They just tie in place to segment the truck bed itself, so that it's not going to move around too much if you have something small at the back. You know. So yeah,
Oh,
those are
great.
things that you can do to make things easier for yourself.
Yeah. Okay, so we have someone actually just shared a link that I think Mitsubishi Triton.
Yong Huang Tire
Yeah,
Servicing.
Donghuang Tire. Thanks for getting to the point and actually sharing deals to our audience to actually look out for. Okay, let me just have a look in the link. So basically, Mitsubishi Triton is doing a promo in conjunction with Raya. Cash rebates up to 6,000 or 0.88% low interest rate with Maybank and Public Bank. Okay, so I was just saying the whole safety issue, that's actually my deal breaker thing. That looks like there's actually a way to work around. And someone just flashed a promotion deal. Looks like
So,
the right time for you to actually do
yeah,
it, grab it. Yeah,
some good Raya deals coming up, I
Right.
suppose.
right.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So before we end our show, I just want to throw our third question for tonight, which is very challenging. What is the name of our show? I repeat the question again. What is the name of our
Actually,
show?
I actually
Yeah,
forgot.
question.
Don't look behind. Don't look behind
Yeah,
where our faces are.
behind
No, all I see is like blue lines. I don't see anything
Oh
behind
wait,
that.
don't look at the top either.
yeah. Okay.
Right.
Whether the pickup truck is a one car solution, looks like they are basically can be your weekdays and weekends car. They can actually do all the stunts, and when you're stuck in the jungle, they will protect you and get you out of it. And they're according
Yeah.
to Austin, they are equally good on road. And then we have I think Raya is coming. We have deals from Mitsubishi Triton, so you guys can actually check it out. Thanks for the
I
lovely
like
you
that.
shared with us earlier.
Uh,
So yeah, anything to actually share before we wrap up for tonight? Like Arvin, anything you want to add on?
I think I've said what I listen. Yeah, it definitely can be an everyday car, and it's fun. I will definitely own a truck someday.
I don't
And say again.
I don't mind actually.
Yeah, I don't know. And I actually want a single. And I have this dream of buying a single cab. So they're the ones they can't sit five, but they have a much longer truck bed, so I could put a small classic mini on it, and I could drive it anywhere. So I could
Right.
drive it to, let's say, somewhere where there's a really cool road, and then I envision myself dropping it off the the trunk bed, and then taking it for a blast, and or a go kart or something like that, and then putting it back up, and then going back home. So that is a pipe dream for
That is
me.
the adventure fantasy, man.
Yeah. A go kart would work, man. So yeah,
Yeah,
and
you can actually carry a go-kart.
easy, and your bikes. I mean, if
Yeah,
motocross is
thanks.
your thing, so yeah, all those are applicable. Yeah. So
Jim,
yeah,
how about you?
that's what I would say.
What?
Any fantasy to wrap up
Okay,
is
so I don't know if you caught like last week's show that
the
we're
car.
on right now, but I'm not going to mention it because we have a question on. if you watched last week's show, I was talking to a professional detailer, right? Talking about car waxes and whatever else. And now I'm thinking, if I have a pickup truck and I want to go off road, how can I do that? That goes against my OCD of having my car super clean.
Oh yeah.
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 I
That's
don't know
really
how to make that.
Jennifer
man.
added to turn it into a coffee truck.
Yeah. You can sit in the back.
Turn into a food truck, turn into a
And
cafe.
you know, another fun fact, Crystal, is like, you know those tailgates, right? A lot of the new trucks, when you drop the tailgate, they have these little cup holder looking shape thingies, you know, imprinted in the back. So you can,
Yeah.
it's a really cool thing. You just sit at the tailgate and then you can put your coffee or your soft drink or whatever, you know. And then there's a little portion imprinted in the plastic padding to actually house the cup there. It's really cute. Most of the new trucks have that. They're very nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
imagine like if you have a really nice place, like a viewpoint or whatever you want to go to, but you can't get to it because your car's a hatchback or a crossover or whatever, you can't do it. You bring your friends, bring some nice beverages, and then go up to the hill or whatever, watch the sunset, open the tailgate, sit on it, and like just enjoy the view, man. Position the truck for the sunset, and like just drink your nice beverages and enjoy the sunset.
On after CMCO, after CMCO.
All of this after CMCO, okay?
Of course.
Yeah. So for me, it's like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I don't own any pickup trucks at the moment. I'm always a hatchback, great car lover. Yeah, but I guess after this, I'll give it a try because, like, my own experience is that, like I said a few weeks ago, we want to actually deliver some things to the hospital. We make a couple of rounds, and if you have a pickup truck at that point, things would move a little bit faster because we could actually carry a lot more things. So I'm definitely gonna give it a try after this.
Yeah, it
Just
really
to
works.
see how it looks
And
like.
it's very common. A lot of these guys, like the Titan Club, the Ranger Club, and all that. I mean, I know a lot of them use their trucks for aid work to send supplies. It's a really cool thing that they do, you know, and it gives them, I suppose, a chance to experience what their trucks can actually do. So yeah, I mean, like to anyone that does that, keep up the good work, guys.
Yep. All right. So you've heard from us about our opinion whether pickup truck is your one car solution. There are awesome deals going on right here. Like I mentioned earlier, I think it's a Triton, so you can go check it out. Apart from that, stay tuned to our next episode, our next segment coming soon. Stay at home, stay safe. Thanks for tuning in and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
You keep waving.